So just letting you know, I record this video mostly without a script, so if I sound unusual compared to my other videos, then that's why. I prefer to have a script because I'm not very good without one, so consider this as a bit of an experiment. An experiment in which editing it was a pain in the ass. Dreamworks is not in a great position right now. And I'm not gonna say it's because of the recent streak of below average movies, since their output has always been that inconsistent. You mean to tell me the studio that released Shark Tale after Shrek 2 has gone downhill? No, it's actually a bigger issue at hand. It was reported last October that Dreamworks was gonna be shifting away from in-house production for their animated films, and are gonna be outsourcing to other vendors like Sony Imageworks starting in 2025. This means half of the staff lost their jobs, and if I remember correctly, the entire TV department got laid off too. I have some theories as to why this is, some obvious and some not, but the fact is, this is the last year we're gonna be seeing some fully in-house animated productions from Dreamworks unless we bully Comcast into reversing their decision. And it is all dropped off with The Wild Robot. Hey look, 2 reviews in a row that are about animated robots. That's neat. Directed by Chris Sanders of Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon, and The Croods, and based on the book series by Peter Brown, the film takes place in a future Earth where a task robot named Rosam Unit 7134, or just Roz, crashes onto an island basically inhabited by forest creatures and tries to adapt to this new environment. Her quest is made easier when she meets a baby goose she accidentally orphaned, and is tasked to take care of it alongside a fox named Fink, helping her make a connection to the wild and to hopefully protect it. Now, I know the first thing that's grabbing your attention, so I might as well get out of the way: the visuals. I'm not alone when I say that this heavily reminds me of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish with its colors, the way it moves, just without the Spider-Verse frame drop, the 2D elements, but I think The Wild Robot looks more like a painting. It's got a sort of watercolor vibe that I'm not saying Puss in Boots didn't have, but I feel like it's more prominent here. I read that Sanders took inspiration from classic Disney films and Studio Ghibli, and you can really see it in the animation, but it manages to be its own thing at the same time, which I really appreciate. Now, I should note this is technically not an original animated film since, like I said, this is based on a series of novels. I never read the novels, but after watching this film, I kinda really want to now because, man, this touched my heart. I think what really stands out to me the most is the bond between Roz, played by Lupita Nyong'o, Bright Bill, played by Kate Connor, and Fink, played by Pedro Pascal, and their family dynamic is really adorable. Though they all do go through their own individual character arcs. Roz progressively feels more human from being a mother and wanting to protect the island. Bright Bill wants to fit in and is being bullied for being different. And Fink, who kinda reminds me of Nick from Zootopia with his mischievous personality and sad past, helps Roz raise Bright Bill and grows a bond with her. This movie's amazing for many reasons, but I think the relationship between these 3 characters is the heart of it all. I've seen some people bothered by the third act climax, but I thought it was fitting for the story I was trying to tell, plus it did lead to a bittersweet ending, which I will admit I didn't get as emotional as I thought I would, but I still had tears in my eyes. So the one complaint I can see where people are coming from are the voice actors. Not the performances, since they're all really good, but the fact that it has voice actors. When the first teaser dropped, many people thought with the lack of dialogue, it was mostly gonna be a silent film. I mean, we already got a silent animated robot film last year, so holy shit, 2 cakes, right? Well, then we saw the cast list at the end, and all those expectations went out the window. And yeah, part of me does wish it was a silent film since it would have had some realism to it, but with the performances being above tolerable, it actually doesn't bother me one bit. They do make you feel for the characters more, not to mention there is a good explanation to why they can talk. Also, can we talk about how much Chris Bauer's score slaps? Like, goddamn. This is actually the second film this year he scored, and trust me when I say this, it really deserves to be heard in a theater. It goes so hard. And lastly, what really connected me to this film is its themes. There are many of them like friendship, nature versus technology, and being a parent, but the ones that hit closest to home are belonging and finding your place. Throughout most of my life, I've been mocked and ridiculed for being different. I have a weird voice, many say. I'm just bi for the sake of a trend, my parents said. I'm tall, every person in the world tells me, even though it's hard to tell whether or not they're compliments. I know it's nothing new and I've kinda grown numb to it, but it sucks that there are still miserable dickwads out there that point and laugh at others just for who they are. The morals of don't treat different people like trash or you'll always belong somewhere are pretty basic, but there's still morals that everyone needs to hear. Plus, Wild Robot does it in a way that doesn't pull any punches and is really mature for a family film. The point is that there's no shame in hiding who you are. One way or another, there will be people who accept you, even those that initially rejected you, and sometimes they could even become your family. Watching this film has made me appreciate those I have around me, and I'm so happy I have people that I can relate to and care for. I know it's a sappy now about how this film touched my personal feelings, but honestly, that's why I love it so much. The Wild Robot is a beautiful work of art, and I mean that literally. From a story that's simple yet mature, gorgeous animation, lovable characters, and powerful messages of finding where you belong, this isn't just my favorite film of the year so far, not just one of if not my favorite Dreamworks film, but I think it's become one of my favorite animated films ever. As much as it sucks that Dreamworks will no longer be entirely in-house, I'm confident that they still have the ability to make good movies. I mean, we're getting Dogman next year for God's sake. However, I'm not sure how they can surpass Wild Robot. I'm sure they will someday, but for now, this was too peak that I don't see the studio immediately topping this, and it deserves all the love it can get. That's why I'm giving The Wild Robot a clear 10 out of 10. I don't need to say anything else, just go see it. Drop everything and go see this film now. Until next time, I'm Miyachi. See you later, Tama friends.